Hello everybody, and welcome to another game with me, Nobody. Today I'm going to be taking you through one of my record games, and looking for what kind of strategic decisions I made, and generally analyzing the game. Analyzing recorded games is a very important skill for newer players to develop, and it can tell you a lot about how you play and how you can improve, and what kind of mistakes you made in the game. And it's generally a very good skill to be able to cultivate. So I'm going to be up here in the top right playing as the Berbers, and we're playing on Arabia, of course. And on the bottom left, I'm going to be playing the player Henchiko, playing as the Mongols. So first thing that I look for when I start a game is, of course, the civ matchup. And Berber's going to be one of the new African kingdom civilizations. Probably a lot of you not too familiar with them. Villagers move 10% faster. It's a nice bonus to have. Doesn't really kick into the economy, but helps villagers escape and lure boars easier. Stable units will cost less. This is really the meat of what the Berbers are all about. Stable units including light cav, knights, and camels going to be costing 20% less. That's a massive decrease, but it only starts in Castle Age. So this is going to heavily influence my strategy. Other than that, we have the Camel Archer, which is their unique unit, which has an attack bonus versus other cavalry archers, which could be very important in this matchup, considering I'm playing against the Mongols. And some other technologies which might not be so useful. Have the Genitor here as the second unique unit, also might be pretty good against Mangudai, although I've never tried it before, so we'll see if I decide to go down that route. So Berber's playstyle, all about getting to Castle Age and going through the Night Rush, or Camel Defense, something along those lines, kind of lose a bit of their momentum in Imperial Age, so this will definitely play into what kind of strategy I go for. Henchiko, he's playing as the Mongols, very classic AOC Civ. Cavalry archers including Mangudai fire faster, makes the Mangudai one of the strongest units in the game. Light cavalry, extra hit points, and hunters working 50% faster. This gives them a really good early game because they're able to get up to the next age faster than basically any other civ. So it definitely gives them a good advantage early on, and then they want to basically hold their advantage until they get their Mangudai out. Scout line plus 2 line of sight also helps their Dark Age here. So the power spike of basically the Mongols is a very strong early game, due to their collection bonus and their scouting bonus, which you can see here. And then just to hold that advantage until they get Elite Mangudai up, which is really their power unit. And if that's not enough to put away your opponent, then get out some of that great Mongol siege as well. So that's going to be his game plan, push the early game advantage and then drag it out to late game if necessary, with castles and such. My game plan, going to be going for a full Night Rush, hopefully, depending on the map and how this plays out. So that's the Civ matchup. Let me go to my point of view here. Take you through what I'm scouting right now. Scouted a back gold, very important for determining my strategies. What a back gold means is that it's going to be safe for me to drush and either go archers with it if I had an archer civ, or possibly try to pull off a fast castle. I don't have to worry about him pressuring my gold or taking it away. So I feel pretty safe about this. Backwood is pretty good also. So I see these two main things about my map, and automatically, playing as the Berbers, I'm thinking about a fast castle into knights. I've gone with 4 on wood at this point to start off with the drush. Generally, fast castle, just a straight fast castle, isn't really, it's not really orthodox. It's much safer to go with a drush into a fast castle because you can do some harassment with that. And spending the extra food on militia doesn't really hurt you that much, since you're going to have to get farms up anyway. And I'm going to lure in this deer here, just because they're nice and close here. This villager's going to start a wall off through here. I'm consciously thinking about where to put my walls, since I'm thinking of this, this fast castle, which could be so strong as Berbers. Thinking about walling in through here. Perhaps walling in through here. In which case I should have built this house more forward. And then a big wall through here. And this will be the majority of where the resources of walling goes into. So it's not going to be a great wall, but I think it's going to work out because of how good my civ advantage could be. How much this could work to my advantage as playing as the Berbers, essentially. Let's see what Henchiko is. Keep in mind that I don't see his map, so I can't make any strategic decisions off of it. Henchiko here, he's going to have a little bit of idle time here. He's a little bit late getting his boar lure in. He's got a back gold, but it is on a hill. He's going to want to wall in through here to protect his gold if he possibly could. And saturation is going to be hard on this gold. He can possibly wall through here. And his map is generally considered probably a worse map than mine, just due to this, this gold over here. And I think access to only one wood line, as well as stone's kind of in a weird place. Stone's very important for you as Mongols later in the game. So we'll see what kind of strategy he goes for. Traditionally with Mongols, you can see a scout rush due to them getting the faster uptime, but you can also see a tower rush or other variations. Again, their faster uptime is basically a very flexible bonus. Me, here's my barracks coming up for a drush. Had my 4 on wood. I'm going to send 1 out to get some gold. Taking a lot of food here. Going to start taking my sheep pretty soon. And here's my second boar. Very nice thing with the Berbers. Don't really need to get loom here because the villager does walk 10% faster here. It's going to take a few less shots from the boar. As you can see, it's pretty much almost the same speed. And here's my militia now. Let's check my scouting progress at this point. So only moving out now. It's quite late, actually, despite even luring 2 deer. So this is possibly something I can improve on in the future, trying to be more efficient with my scout. And here's that wall off. Henchiko, he's also gathering quite a bit of food. Let's check his resources right now. He's ready to click up. He's going up on 21 population. This is a little bit late for the Mongols. This is normally a good scout rush build for any civ, basically. 21 population and click up. But for the Mongols, I think it's a little bit late. He could have gone up on 19 if he feels confident, or 20 at the maximum, I think. But either way, his economy is going to be in a good place for a scout rush if he chooses to go for that. And he's going to place his barracks here, I assume, to wall off through here. Here you can see my scout. And I've seen the barracks going up now, so I know that a drush is not coming in, because this is extremely late for a drush. And here's my drush moving out right now. Again, another way I could have improved my game here is by scouting a bit earlier, and certainly not running into the town center. I hope I didn't lose this. Looks like I barely got away, but lost a lot of health on there. And that's going to reduce the impact that this drush can possibly have. Back at home, I'm gearing up for a fast castle build. I'm going to be seeding a lot of farms with these villagers, and eventually transferring maybe 2 or 3 to gold, as well as continuing to finish up this wall. The point of this drush is to do some harassment. When he does come out with military, I want to delay his military from going to my base, and the best way to do that is to harass him at his base. And I like to delay him long enough so I can get my walls up. And he's going to do something very smart here. He's going to quick wall. This is a very nice defense to a drush. And there you go. Drush can't do any damage anymore. Here's his stable coming up. Let's check his resources. Pretty decent resources here. I assume got in the economy upgrades. And he's going to come in with a scout here to help defend against this drush. Only thing the drush should be doing at this point is forcing him to repair this wall. Hopefully I get lucky and kill this villager, but that's not going to happen here. And unfortunately he's going to kill off my scout here. His scout, of course, getting extra movement speed and +2 attack once he's in feudal age. And he's going to be severely housed, it looks like. Now would be a good time. There it is for Town Watch. Not necessarily because he needs it, but just to keep his town center running. And he's running a little bit low on food here. He should have had a few more villagers on these sheep here. And now he's going to seed up a bunch of farms. Back at my own base, I'm still slowly walling. And let's check if I click up to the next age yet. And here I go now. Going to have quite a bit of food here, I think. Going to have enough gold and hopefully enough wood to drop a stable and a blacksmith. biggest mistake from Henchiko at this point. I don't think it's his strategy. I think his build's been just a little bit wonky at this point. At this point, he could be out with maybe 5 or 6 scouts if he took a little bit more food. Maybe put a little less on wood. And maybe got his boar in a little bit sooner. So it looks like he's going to finally pick off my militia, which I'm okay with now, because my wall has gotten up at this point. And another area I could have improved in this game, definitely should have walled a lot earlier and a lot faster, because if he did send his scouts out early, and he did have a few more, could have gotten in through here. Here's my blacksmith and stable. I'm going to use them as part of the wall to save a bit of resources here. And here I go up to the next age. Again, next age, I will have cheaper knights and cheaper camels. 20% cheaper, so it's going to be a big advantage to me. And now I'm just going to gear up my economy for knights. Going to need lots of farms, a second stable, and maybe a few more on gold here. And here's my second stable now. Henchiko, he's going to be moving out right now. Let's see what he sees. Hasn't scouted my base. I think he's been luring deer, but I can't be sure. And what he's doing at home, he's got 2 on gold, and he's going to be going into archers after this. And it looks like he still hasn't scouted my base, unfortunately. Although he might be clicking in here, know that I'm here, and seeing that the... Well, it looks like the scouts are going to go in. I missed a hole right here, and this could make or break a game. Missing a hole like this. Best way to make sure you don't miss a hole is take a villager and right-click it outside your walls and see where he goes. And he's gonna... Oh my god, this house only has 5 left. No, he's not gonna get it up. That's gonna be a big waste. Not to mention the villager, of course. So 1 villager down due to this big mistake here. I'm going to go try to immediately patch this. Really shouldn't have used the low health villager here. And this is a bit risky. I'm going to wall up as much as I can. I'm going to try to wall through the TC. Create palisade wall is one of the quicker hotkeys next that I can hit quickly. And again, just going to do some major damage here. He's going to kill another villager, it looks like. And there I am. I'm in the castle age. First thing I'm going for, I'm going to go for 2 knights right off the bat, and I'm going to try to defend against this. So I've already lost 2 villagers. You can see my score is pretty low here from losing those 2 villagers. And I'm going to try to get my economy back on track. It's going to be very hard for me to produce out of 2 stables right now. And here I see the scouts are going to move over here. I think I'm going to quick wall through here.
Yeah.
Here are the first 2 knights, already with +1 armor done. And I'm going to try to clean these guys up. Perhaps a camel would have been more useful, but I was thinking more offensively at this point to move my knights forward. Camels are a little bit faster in chasing down scout cavalry. But this is all good for Henchiko right now. He's doing essentially what I did with my Drush, which is just buy time. And he's buying time by keeping my knights at home, while he at his own base has time to get it to the next stage. So let's check his resources. He's already up to the next age right now, and he's building quite a few spearmen here to defend the initial night rush. And that's basically all he has to worry about right now. He's delayed my economy by killing those 2 vills, and it's kind of hard for me to produce out of 2 stables at this point, even with Berbers. Here's my first 2 knights moving out. And he's going up with the blacksmith now. He's only got a few archers here, and I think this was a big mistake by him in this game, actually going into archers. One of the strengths of archers is being able to fire behind walls, and being able to fit in nooks and crannies, so that melee units can't get on top of them. I think maybe not making the ranges and seeding a few farms earlier, and then committing to camels might have been a good idea. Although that has the downside, of course, of the Berbers having cheaper camels as well, so that's debatable also. But the problems with archers is they're going to be exposed here, and he's doing a good job walling in through here. That's going to keep his wood line safe at least. And also going to wall around these farms, which I think is a good idea. Trying to make the best out of a bad map. One of the big keys for him, though, I think, is going to be monks, which should be able to counter both camels and knights. And I'm going to get a villager kill here. Finally cleaning up his scouts. I've been in the Castle Age for quite some time, but my economy's been so weak, I couldn't really make a lot of knights, or can't really make a town center right now. And Henchiko, he's going to go with a few camels and get the crossbow upgrade. Town center's going to go on the gold to help protect it. It's a good town center. And I'm just going to poke around, but again, just running into walls here. Right now I'm about 200 points, about 300 points down. I'm going to build my second town center on this wood. The wood saturation is pretty poor here. And I don't really have anywhere else I think I want to make the town center, so here looks like a good idea. Looks like I did get in on here, but he's got plenty of spearmen and plenty of camels to defend. So he's doing what he needs to do right now. And he's going to gradually build his economy. So basically at this time I'm thinking about what do I want to do in this game. Do I want to go for a full knight push, or do I want to heavily boom, or take this to Imperial Age? And that basically depends on the map and the civs right now. The Berbers, they don't get a huge advantage going into Imperial Age. It's not like their knights get any cheaper in Imperial Age, and they don't get the Paladin upgrade. So I'm thinking at this point, I really want to push, especially since I don't want the Mongols to get any sort of Mangadai out, which is why I've gone with a siege workshop instead of a town center here. So I'm going to sink the 200 wood into the siege workshop, and then build a mangonel, which will cost me about 160 wood, which again could have been used for a town center. And finally I'm getting wheelbarrow now, trying to straighten out my economy still. One of the downsides to me going for a siege workshop, though, is I already know he went for a stable and has a few camels out, so I'm really going to have to protect these mangonels. And he's just going to try to play defensive here. He's going to go with a monastery. I think a university for ballistics, but he doesn't have enough crossbows to warrant ballistics at this point, I think. At least the investment in it. And he's going to move out. This is a very good idea with crossbows. Basically, you want to be able to hit your opponent. Crossbows can kill villagers a lot quicker than knights can. And then run into the shadows. Keep the knights moving, keep the knights defensive. Knights are kind of a more, they're kind of more, you just kind of go in and raid. Whereas crossbows are more finesse. And here I'm going to move forward. Really need to be careful to protect this mangonel. So much resources have gone up just into this mangonel. And I'm bringing this villager forward because I'm going to build a monastery. As long as I have a few monks defending the mangonel, he's not going to be able to run in with any sort of camels or knights. Although scouts could still be a problem. And it looks like this town center was in a good position. Here comes my mangonel. First target's either going to be the gold or this town center. And that's quite a bit of spearmen right there. He's got this monk here. And he's going to run the monk into the town center to try to protect it. And as you can see, very difficult to defend a mangonel from camels. Especially when you have knights here. And that pretty much completely failed at this point. And at this point, I'm thinking this is going to be a tough game for me. He's taken out my first mangonel. He's getting a little bit ahead of an economy, and he's got the appropriate unit counters here, going into camels and spears. as well as monks. We've got 3 counters to the same unit. And I took this fight just due to the numbers, I believe. I'm going to create more monks here. I'm stretching my economy thin. And luckily I did take urgency and walling through here. So I should be safe at home. As you can see in this game, how important walling is. And I brought a mangonel back to help deal with the crossbows. But again, Henchiko, he's doing what he wants. He wants my army back at base. We've seen this with the Drush and the Scouts, just trying to harass a bit in order to prevent damage from being done at your own base. And at this point, if I'm not pushing, I'm basically losing this game slowly. The point of no return for this game, I think, is if he starts to make, if he makes the Elite Manga Die upgrade. If he ever makes that upgrade and he has enough Manga Die to warrant it, I think I'm going to be pretty GG. And he's still doing some good damage here. Able to thwart off where I was going. And I'm going to bring the Knights over here, try to clean him up. Still only +1 armor. I think I should be getting +2 at this point. And I'm going to build this 3rd town center to secure some more gold. This gold, again, pretty hard to get saturation on, so it's a good idea to move over to a 2nd gold. I'm going to easily clear this up. But it looks like they have done the damage, and they are delaying my knight push here. So it looks like I've got a grand total of 3 monks, mangonel, and a few knights. Although my economy is still in a weak place, only 2 town centers here. Henchiko, 3 town centers, plenty of camels and spears and monks. And he's starting his stone transition, which is definitely a good idea. Not only will he be able to get out his super strong units, he'll also be able to prevent any pushes from defeating him, as long as he gets that castle. And I see the vulnerability of his town center. It's completely away from these other 2 town centers. And this is going to be my first target. Got 2 mangonels here, this one on 1 HP. And I'm going to bring everything to focus on this side now. And this was a dumb decision, trying to attack the town center with knights. Especially with only +1 armor. So my goal right now is just to use the mangonels to start attacking this town center and hopefully take it down. Camel's gonna move in. Let's see how good my monk micro is. Not so good. Camel's moving right under the knight. And it looks like I got 1 camel at least. 2 camels, I think, actually. But I did lose the monks. And now he's gonna move in with his 3 camels. 3 monks. And because I know where I am at this game, this is basically a loss for me. Even if, more or less, we traded evenly, which I don't even think we did. And once again, Henchiko successfully defended. He's now 500 points in the score lead. And looking pretty bad for me. Got a 3rd town center on this gold over here. Again, having trouble getting saturation on this. I think I was having trouble with gold in this game. And I'm going to try my push one more time. I don't think that booming up and going into the Imperial Age is a realistic possibility for me with my Civ matchup. And finally, +2 armor done on these guys. Henchiko, 3 town centers. 1, 2, 3. Really strong economy. He's going to have his castle up pretty soon. He's even going to transfer more villagers over here. Looks like crossbows I don't think was the right decision here in the early game, just seeing how this game has played out. Crossbow's not going to do him too well against this huge horde of knights and a mangonel. The camel's definitely been working out for him, and especially the monks as well. So he should continue to produce them. It looks like he's not continuing to produce them, however. And very smart, he's going to scout the map and look for the relics. On the other hand, I have a lot of farms now. I'm going to be remassing knights. I'm going to build a few rams here. I saw how hard it was to defend these mangonels, so I'm just going to go with rams, which is, again, a bit of a more brute force option. And if a single one of these knights gets converted, they're basically going to be able to take out the mangonel instantly. And I just don't have the right army composition to battle this. I got a lucky shot here on the 2 monks, though. And that looks like it was enough to turn the battle. Got 3 rams here. And just the unit counter's too strong. He should be getting a few upgrades on here. I'm going to go with the second monastery because I've seen how effective these are. And it looks like I'm going to lose this battle again. And could possibly lose these 3 rams, which would be a huge investment. Henchiko could balance his economy out. He has enough stone for a castle now, but way too much gold. Would be much more beneficial if he had been putting more villagers on farms here, because then he could have maybe, I don't know, 10, 20 more camels out instead of a stockpile of gold. And another big loss for me, losing this villager before completing the monastery. Scorpion here, I think, was just to counter some of the spearmen. And finally, I have a massive knights. This is because Henchiko hasn't been building as many camels, I think, as he should have been. And at this point, I'm just going to go full in the Castle Age and build more stables. Let's check my resources. Big stockpile of food, and I'm pretty much hurting on gold. So I'm going to be a little bit risky here and take this gold. Hopefully, with the map control, I won't be punished for this. And suddenly my push is going to have to be a lot stronger here because of this castle here. And it looks like he's going to get 2 conversions here. And Henchiko's still defending for now. Got a big massive rams, but I don't have enough knights to support it now. Going up to, I think this is 4 stables now. And Henchiko should be getting out his second castle now. Second castle is going to go up over here. I'm not sure if I agree with that. He probably thinks he's pretty safe on this top side due to this castle here. So maybe it is a good decision, I'm not sure. So here at this point, I think you can see a bit of the weakness of the Mongols in this late Castle Age, early Imperial Age. Just because the Mongols don't get really any bonuses in this point of the game. Sure, they have access to camels, but I much rather prefer my cheaper cavalry in general over the Mongols. And playing to the Mongol strengths, he's just going to want to survive until he gets into Imperial and can make an elite Mangudai. Which he's going Imperial Age now. He's got plenty of gold stockpiled. He's going to need, I think, 1100 food for the elite upgrade. And should continue to create Mangudai here, although I think he's not creating as much as he should be. And this will often lose you games if you're just not creating anything. It's usually better to create just basically anything rather than nothing, even if it's not the ideal unit. So here comes my rams. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rams. Although a pretty small force to back them up. Looks like he's going to get 2 conversions here. Here's 1. And here's the second, I think. And I'm going to try to get 2 conversions back. Ram's going to go straight into the castle. Need to keep pumping here. Need to keep reinforcing. I think I'm on 5 stables at this point. And I've said to myself, I'm going to finish this game now. He's already Imperial Age. I need to take away his castles right now. It's funny, the villagers are right on top of the castle. They're literally in the castle. Oh man. Oh, that monk got wrecked. was trying to move him right under the castle. So I'm just going to keep flooding here. I think I have enough stone for a castle of my own. I'm going to try to dissect his base in half with this castle. And work on each half separately. I'm not going to bother with the Imperial Age because, again, I don't think I get that much benefit of going to the Imperial Age. And it's just resources I think are better spent at this point right now. And it looks like Henchiko's castle is going to stay up here. Here comes the castle at the bottom. Yeah, it looks like 5 stables, I think. Henchiko about 600 points in the score lead. Looks like I have a good mass of knights now, although I need more rams at this point. I can't do anything if I don't have any rams. And right now, it looks like Henchiko just a little bit, wanting to go into Elite Mangudai a little bit too fast. I think Heavy Camel would have been a better option here, especially since we're playing on African Kingdoms. The Heavy Camel upgrade doesn't take nearly as long. Heavy Camel would absolutely eviscerate my army. And these Mangudai not so strong, just having Bracer, but really you need the Elite upgrade. I'm gonna bring a few more rams here. I think I should have built a second siege workshop in order to hasten this push. One siege workshop not really enough at this point. And back at my base, still taking a little bit of stone to get more castles up. And pumping from, I think, 5 stables. Gonna take this forward gold as well, since I have the map control. And it looks like I didn't get this castle up, actually. I need to send more villagers for it. At this point, Henchiko, only on 63 population, looks like he's been hit pretty hard by these raids. And I know as long as I keep the pressure up, I should be able to win this game. And as long as I take away his castles as well. So here's the castle here. And finally the first castle goes down after this very long extended push here. He's going to do the very smart thing and expand on this right side. I kind of knew this. So I sent out these villagers to build forward stables over here. And this is kind of what you have to do. Gonna build this castle right here, gonna continue to push through here. And split his base in half. Take him off of this gold on the top side. He needs to take gold on the bottom side here. And right now I'm just getting mauled by wolves, absolutely. And you can see by my map control at this point, I'm doing pretty well actually. Me still staying in Castle Age, spending all my resources on knights. And we can speed up the game just a little bit here. On this bottom side, I'm trying to raid quite a bit. Here I said camel archers are nice because camel archers are actually a pretty good counter to elite Mangudai, since they get an attack bonus versus cavalry archers. So I got a pretty good combo going here. Need to keep the rams coming, keep the rams going in through here, and basically put the killing blow in them. And at this point, score switching. And I'm going to be about 1,000 score up in pretty soon. I'm going to go for his next castle. Don't really care about the town center too much. Castles are really what I'm interested in. And he's going to try to wall in front of this castle here. And finally, one of the big problems in Age of Empires. Finally, I have enough gold for the first time in this game, and not enough of anything else. It looks like it's going to be enough here. and I'm going to be able to take down this castle. On this bottom side, still raiding with a few forward knights. And this should be the GG pretty soon here. And there's the GG. So what can we learn from this game? I think this strategy going into I think being able just first going for the Drush was able to do its job, even though I wasn't able to do any significant economy damage. Just by keeping his scouts at bay, I should have walled in through here. Made sure that it was wall, essentially. There wasn't a hole, because I could have had a much cleaner night rush and could have hit him a lot earlier on. I don't think the choice of archers was the best choice on such an open map, and a map where camels and monks would be so essential. And then just knowing what stage of the game I wanted to push at. I lost my push maybe 2 or 3 times, lost a few engagements here, and I chose to go for the push again and try to remass as opposed to try to boom heavily or go into the Imperial Age, because I kind of knew I couldn't let him get into Elite Mangadai. And then for him, I think keeping camel production up and keeping monk production up could have helped him defend his base, and going into heavy camel probably would have been the better option here instead of Elite Mangadai, especially since later in the game I do have access to camel archers. So knowing what stage of the game to push, knowing what strategies to go for, and what mistakes you made by reviewing this recorded game could hopefully help some players in reviewing their own recorded games. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm going to close it up here, and I'll see you guys next time. Leave a little like below in the comments if you did enjoy the video, and leave some feedback. So, see you next time.